And it is I, G. Gordon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very important show for today. A very serious matter. And my guest in the studio is Lieutenant Colonel Terry Lakin. He is a physician, and he's an Army Medical Corps, would that be correct?
Yes, sir.
Medical Corps, correct. Also with us by telephone is his counsel, located in California, and counsel's name is?
It's Paul Jensen.
Paul Jensen, all right.
Good morning.
Good morning, Counselor. All right, now, folks, the importance of this guest and this issue is that Colonel Lakin has refused military orders because he challenges the legitimacy thereof based upon what he believes is the questionable eligibility of Barack Obama to be President of the United States under our Constitution. Would that be a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It is an open question, in my view, as to whether or not Barack Hussein Obama is constitutionally eligible to be the President of the United States. And my personal opinion is that the preponderance of the evidence is against him. He has made every effort possible to conceal all the records that would demonstrate that he is eligible, and he controls the information.
Thank you for having me here, sir. It's just a unfortunate situation where I believe my oath of office to uphold the Constitution is of paramount issue here, and I believe that there is a lack of evidence, or we have a great question that needs to be addressed, and we need the evidence to validate that our elected official is eligible to hold the office.
Well, this is Paul Jensen. I think that Colonel Lakin has done what his conscience demanded, and that is to refuse to obey an order that he was not convinced was legal. And I think that all military officers are inculcated with the restriction to disobey orders that they do not believe are legal. And I think that the importance of that point has been drilled home for us here in America, at least since the Vietnam War, if not long before. I'd like to go back to something you just said about, Mr. Liddy, about the president not releasing documents. In the law, if a litigant has within his ability the opportunity to present more compelling evidence and instead chooses to present less compelling evidence, that fact may be used by the jury to disregard or discredit the evidence presented. If there is an original birth certificate signed by the doctor, signed by his mother, identifying the hospital, and Obama instead chose to release a mere abstract, computer-generated abstract that is not conclusive evidence legally of his birth, then we are free to conclude that stronger evidence does not, in fact, exist. I will, and
there's a presumption of regularity in military orders. How do you overcome the presumption of regularity?
Well, in terms of how we plan to overcome it in court, my good friend Roger Stone, who, like you, is a Nixon man, gave me a key piece of advice. He said, don't telegraph your battle plans to the enemy by announcing them on national radio.
Yeah, okay, that is good advice.
However, having said that, let me tell you that each of us can only do what we believe to be right and follow the dictates of our conscience. And I know that Colonel Lakin would tell you that after a great deal of soul-searching, he came to the conviction that he had to, for himself alone, follow this course of conduct. And I think that as a man of honor and integrity, he could do no other. And he's not encouraging anybody else to follow in his footsteps. He's speaking only for himself. And for that, I admire and defend him.
There have been other cases, and a lot of them have fallen on the issue of standing.
Yes.
Now, you and I understand what standing means in the law, but why don't you address the issue of standing? And I think certainly Colonel Lakin has standing because he can be seriously harmed by this.
Oh, there's no question. Colonel Lakin is not bringing a lawsuit. He is about to be court-martialed as a defendant. The issue of standing is presumed. The only question is whether a piece of evidence or discovery is relevant, which is an entirely different standard than standing. All of these lawsuits that have been filed across the country have failed, as you correctly point out, on the issue of standing or the twin issue of political question. These do not come into play in any way in Colonel Lakin's defense.
Yes, and do you anticipate that you will be granted discovery?
Every criminal defendant has to be allowed the benefit of the doubt to discover information relevant or which may even lead to the discovery of relevant information to defend himself against charges that could land him in the penitentiary for years and years. So again, without disclosing what we intend to do specifically, let me tell you that it would be shocking to me to think that a defendant in the dock would not be permitted the opportunity to discover information that would prove his innocence. And courts that trial courts that refuse to allow such discovery frequently find themselves reversed on appeal.
John in Minnesota, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Liddy. I was wondering if the Lieutenant Colonel had actually discussed any of this with his peers.
And I did what I could on my own, essentially researching and finding out about a UCMJ Article 138 complaint that I attempted to file over a year ago, and then filed another one at my new duty station. And I think in those I was asking for proper procedure also to help me out with this very important question about our Constitution.
Did you get any kind of satisfaction out of doing those things?
No, they were pretty much what has happened to previous people, that my complaint was deficient and didn't have to be addressed, or the people that I was addressing it about were not in my chain of command. And
thank you, Counselor. Let's go to Nashville, Tennessee, and Leo. Leo, you're on here.
Good morning, Mr. Liddy, and good morning, Colonel.
Good morning.
I just wanted to express my support and my admiration for your courage, Colonel, in doing this. Having spent 60 days in jail myself and been essentially under house arrest for the past 6 months because of my writings regarding Obama's lack of qualifications, constitutional qualifications to be the president. I know what type of courage it takes to do what you've done, Colonel, and I just wanted to offer my admiration and appreciation.